Cutshort is a career growth platform for modern professionals that leverages advanced AI to help recruiters find the right talent, connect with job opportunities, and share learning seamlessly. Welcome to another exciting episode of Follow Startups. I'm your host, Ankita Bhava, and today we have the pleasure of chatting with Nikunj Verma, the co founder and CEO at Cutshort, and somebody who thrives at the intersection of tech, product, and marketing. With a mission to empower talent acquisition teams with autonomous AI agents, Nikunj is totally transforming the way modern businesses find high quality talent today in the midst of all the noise. So let's welcome him. Hi, Nikunj. Welcome to Follow Startups.
Hi, Ankita. I'm glad to be here. Thanks for inviting me.
It's a pleasure to have you here, Nikunj. So before we delve into the intricacies of Cut Short, please take a moment to introduce yourself to the audience.
Okay, so yeah, I'm a founder at Cutshort. Been here since 9 years since we started, and it's been a great journey right from my early days of a career where I started uh, in engineering teams. Then I worked my way up into product management, and then finally into entrepreneurship and starting on my own. So yeah, I think one important things or goals for me has been to keep working at something which I'm passionate about. And the offshoot of that is that in the last 20, 21 years since I started working, I don't remember a single day I've been bored, even for an hour. So that I think I consider that as a privilege, that I got the privilege of working on something which I've always picked my interest. And, you know, days have become weeks, weeks have become months, and months have become years. And, still going strong, still enjoying, still learning every day. So, yeah. And I wish the same for all the modern professions as well, because I think it's the modern workforce and the careers are all about constant learning and enjoying what you're working on. So one of the objectives and goals of Cutshort also is to create more stories, more successful career journeys, so that every day becomes fun, every day becomes interactive and full of learning for every one of us. That was the reason why I started Cutshort.
Absolutely. So, also tell us what specific challenges in the hiring process inspired you to create this platform. Were there any particular pain points that you experienced firsthand that drove you to develop this?
Yeah, I think the main limiting factor is that there are humans on both sides, but there is so much of data and noise around both parties, especially the recruiters, that candidates have really a tough time in getting the attention of the right recruiter at the right time. And we realize that if we don't solve for this discoverability part of the candidate in the eye of the recruiter, then however talented you are, it is difficult for you to get a shot and get what you deserve. So that's what we have been trying to solve, that how can recruiting teams discover the right talent without having to spend hours and hours of their effort, which is humanly impossible for them to do, reviewing applications and reviewing the loads of resumes around them.
Hmm.
So how can we make the discovery happen? So that has been the limiting factor that we've been trying to solve.
So, how does this work? Like, how does the platform work, and what makes it unique compared to all the traditional job portals?
Yeah, I think, as I said, right, the main focus here is to reduce the friction, reduce the irrelevance from the results of both candidate as well as the recruiter. So that is the focus, uh, and we do it using a variety of ways, whether it's gamification, whether it is designing of the features, uh, and I think one of the significant deviations for us as compared to other platforms is that we don't decide we don't design for uh, ingredients to be delivered to the recruiter or the candidate, that this is the CV, this is the resume, this is the potential list, now you go and call them. We try to deliver outcomes. So instead of you or the recruiter or the user having to do a series of steps that they normally have to do on normal job portals, our effort is to streamline them, automate them, make them relevant, so that the minimum effort you get the maximum outcomes. And that is a continuous evolution, because you have to keep on understanding the new pain points and keep on solving new problems that emerge for the users. So that is how we stand out from the market.
Hmm.
Uh, and we also don't think of candidates as products where we sell their data to anybody who wants to pay for it. Like a lot of times on our conventional job platforms, candidates, as soon as they sign up, they start getting loan calls, they start getting credit card calls, or they start getting calls from recruiters who not even don't even have a relevant job for them. So we try to take privacy also seriously, and try to make sure that only genuine people can see the data, and the whole experience is pretty pleasant for both the users and the companies.
So, how would you define your target audience, Nikunj?
So, so I think we are in the white collar hiring space, which is a pretty wide
Hmm.
market. But of late, we have decided to focus on tech hiring market.
Okay.
And within tech hiring market, so in tech hiring or in IT tech talent, right, there are around 6.5 million people in India, which means around 65 lakhs people are employed in Indian IT industry. And they are mostly scattered, or they're mostly centered around the main tier one cities like Bangalore, Pune, Delhi, Hyderabad. So that happens to be our audience, and within this audience, our audience is audience which is looking for more aspirational jobs, higher salaries. They're more skilled. They want to work on meaningful projects. So those tend to be our user base more, because these people want to learn faster. They want, and they also have skills, so they want to get paid higher. So these are the so-called premium talent in the tech space. So these are around 3.54 million people. So that is the target market that we have, around 3.5 million people on the candidate side, and around 50,000 companies which want to hire this kind of audience, is where basically we are trying to solve the problem for.
So, would you like to share the names of some of these existing companies that are actually getting benefits from Cutshort?
So there are around 30,000 plus recruiters who have signed up on the platform. All the startups in the funding who have been funded, most of them have used Cutshort to build their teams. Uh, and some of them are also large companies, some of them are predominantly startups, right, from typically from 15 20 employees to, let's say, 150 employees. Growth, early stage, series A kind of startups. Some of them which are hiring right now, or which have hired successfully, are like ThoughtWorks is one company which has hired. ThoughtWorks is a boutique consulting company, very very well known for their strong talent pool and their strong people practices. So
Hmm.
that has found great success with Cutshort. There are a lot of companies like Flexi Loans, Walla Finance, Iksha Labs, CK12, and Databook and Nanonets. All these startups which are working on cutting edge products and they need higher talent, higher quality talent, are typically the companies that use Cutshort.
That's amazing. So, when did you establish?
So we started in 2015.
And where would you position Cutshort in terms of its current stage of development and market presence today?
We believe in the motto that it is always day one or it's always day zero, like what Amazon says, right?
Hmm.
So we don't think there is not enough for us to disrupt ourselves. In fact, last year itself, we started disrupting ourselves, because after AI, we saw a clear opportunity to do something far bigger in a bigger market. So that is while we were scaling and we were in the growth stage until last year. Since last year, we have again, from the perspective of the effort, the team size, the kind of activities we are doing, is now early stage. So we always, look at it from the future perspective and not look at the past and see where we should be. And now we are a growth stage company, or now we are a Series C company. We rather look at from the customer standpoint and the market standpoint. Always look out for areas where you should move, and you should move it. And when you think you found an area, you should move boldly. And if that it requires you to disrupt yourself, then you should not be afraid of doing that. So that's what we are doing right now.
So, you spoke about AI. Tell us, how are you integrating it in your operations?
Yeah, so I think if you look at the tasks that a user does on the platform, typically recruiters, if you look at the life of a recruiter, every day they work on 3 or 4 roles for which they are hiring. They search, they try multiple searches to find the people. That takes them time. Then for every search, they review the candidates. That takes time, because they have to open the candidate's resume, look at the profile, look at the work experience they have done, and try to establish the fitment with the role that they are hiring for. Then if they find it to be relevant, and they call them, And then after every 10 calls, two or three candidates submit or show interest, right? So it's a long process, which is typically manual process, and it is repetitive human process, which actually doesn't have to be so much manual. Because if you look at it, right from the searching technologies that have got used and now which are available with AI, now you can, like in ChatGPT, you can just search for
Yeah.
context. You can just search far more intuitively than any other previous platform or generation allowed for. So similarly, now you can search for, earlier you would have to search for skill set, that I want to, let's say you want to hire a product marketer. So you would type product marketing, branding, and you'll try to type all these keywords, and then you would try to find how to find a resume or the candidates that are fit for your role. But then that's very hard, because I want to, let's say, hire a person like you. What should I type in the keyword? I can type podcast, I can type events, I can type something else. But these are all the keywords. They might have been mentioned by a lot of other people who have not done kind of work that you have done. But what if I could type simple statement in English, recording podcast? A product marketer who has worked in recording podcast, who has interviewed candidates, who loves going, who has done things going on screen or on stage. That is what I want, and that's how I explain a role to a human. But unfortunately, technology wanted you to write keywords. So that is
Yeah.
one example of, with AI, how can you do search better? And that's what we are enabling on the platform. Then after searching, you have to look at those search results and review. What if you could just ask someone or an intern that, okay, I've got 100 search results. Can you go through 100 search results and look for these five things? Can that also be automated? Turns out it can be automated as well. That can be done by AI far better, because the question that does it require on-stage appearance is can be answered by AI very, very effectively, as compared to humans who are not experienced, right? So that also is one more use case. The third use case is, or third AI application is, you are saying a lot of things on the resume, but have you really worked on it? How do I validate your experience? Now that requires someone to talk to you, someone to ask you cross questions about what have you done, how long, who were you reporting to, which tools you used when you were recording podcast, what problems did you face while recording podcast. Someone will ask you all these questions
Yeah.
humanly, but that's not possible for a human to do it, because there's so many people, right? So now AI can also talk to the candidate and interview them, and try to vet their experience on some real project work or real work experience. And then that becomes a very, very highly a very highly relevant pipeline, because now we are searching on context, we are reviewing profiles better, and now we are talking to the candidates to figure out the top 5 people, 10 people that we should talk to. And that is so much liberating, because instead of wasting your time on hundreds of profiles and reviewing, now you got 8, 10 people who are relevant, and now you should go and talk to them like a human and really understand their career preferences, motivations, their culture fitment before you actually go take them to the interview rounds, right? So that makes humans much more powerful and much more
Yeah.
effective, because AI enables them to do all this hard work in seconds, and they get to work their human skills better on the candidates, and hence get better outcomes for both parties.
Absolutely, and that certainly saves a lot of our time as well. And it just it just makes the process more effective. So definitely. So Nikunj, when it comes to the companies that you work with, do you primarily focus on those just based in India, or do you also cater to organizations or with headquarters elsewhere?
So companies with headquarters elsewhere, like US,
Hmm.
uh, Singapore, Southeast Asia, these companies, when they want to set up their engineering teams in India, that's typically when they use Cutshort.
Got
Uh,
it. Got it.
and we have helped some established names like Blackhawk Networks and Biofurnace, Tokukas, Open Financial Bank, all these companies to find their engineering teams in India at the very early stage when they were trying to set up in India.
Okay. So now let's dive into the business side of things a little bit. So tell us how does Cutshort generate its revenue, and are there any factors that influence the pricing structure, or does it remain consistent across the board for everybody?
No, it doesn't stay consistent, because there are different segments, and different segments have different needs and different value propositions.
Hmm.
So I think we have largely two kind of offerings. One offering is for companies which are low on recruiting resources. They want outcomes. They want to find, they just want to find 5, 10 people they can interview. They don't have time to buy a subscription. They don't have recruiters to use a platform, and they don't want to do that, right? They just want to outsource it to partners. And typically, it's a recruitment agency model which exists. So that is one model that we have, which we recently launched, where companies don't care. They can just use our recruitment agency model, tell us the needs, tell us what they need, and we will find those candidates and do the entire thing for you. Because of AI, we can do it in a much more productized way, and we can be much more relevant. So more relevance, we can deliver more relevance far, faster speed, and also significant cost advantage for them. But the other model is companies who are hiring with their own teams. They have some recruiters on board. They want to reduce the cost of their hiring, as well as they want to give a better experience because they want to control the hiring experience for the candidates. So these companies like ThoughtWorks, for example, I was talking about, these companies have a different pricing model where they buy a subscription. They buy, how many, they tell us how many users they want in terms of the unlocks. They also want how many recruiters will they have on board. But depending on the needs and depending on the salary range that they want to offer, there are different plans that we have. They will pick one of those plans and they start using the product on their own. So we have two offerings on that side, and the subscription plan, depending on the needs and the volume and the quality of talent and number of seats, the pricing changes from company,
Hmm.
right? Between the plans that we have. But one thing is that uh, we don't do a very custom negotiated pricing with customers that every customer gets a different price. We try to be very fair to our customers and try to keep the price tier very, very transparent on our website. We
Hmm.
don't have talk to us kind of thing. Everything is out there. The price points are very clear. And then we don't quote high and then try to do discounting and all of that. We just try to be very, very transparent with our pricing.
Hmm. It makes me curious to know who are your investors, Nikunj. So tell us, how much capital have you managed to raise so far, and like what kind of support have you gotten so far?
So we actually did not raise much capital because
Hmm.
so we are bootstrapped, and we were bootstrapped because early on we were trying to validate the market. We didn't see the need of raising money because we just needed validation. When then we started making money, so revenue was flowing in. Every year we were going 2x, 3x in revenue. We were still a small team, so we were generating profit. So we didn't have to raise again because we did not know what we do with more money. So we never really raised much. We only have raised, from angels, a little bit of money, and these angels also have been like our private circle. These are customers or people who know us, so they wanted to invest. So they have we have taken some amount of investment from them. So, but total amount of money that we have raised is not more than 4 crores so far. So it's like less than 500K,
Hmm.
around 500K we have raised so far.
And any plans to raise in the future?
No, now the graph it's etc. That this is a profitable business, right? So if you are able to if you're able to close roles and help companies, there's enough money on the company side to be made. But I think this time we might consider a different growth plan where with AI we have an opportunity to be capitalized on fast, and we would like to scale the business faster. So for that faster expansion of the business, bootstrapping might not really work because we might not get the market category leadership that we want. So for that purpose, we might raise in near future as well. We are just like the angel round that I was talking about. We just closed recently, the 200 to 250K we just closed. So we might raise a bit more, but then let's see how the market evolves because the market is
Yeah.
also not very easy for funding as well. So it just takes more effort, and that effort we would rather spend on a business rather
Hmm.
than going and trying to pitch investors.
That's fair. So speaking of profitability, Nikunj, are there any particular business numbers or metrics that you would like to share with us, that you are certainly proud of?
Yeah, I think we crossed $1 million of revenue, uh, in 21-22 financial year, and we did that with a 3 or 4 people sales team. So typically, it's unheard of that you can close $1 million of revenue with just 3 or 4 people sales team because you need a lot of large sales force. But we always had inbound, uh, you know, leads coming in, and we just had to close them, and then we could sell them subscription plans upfront for the entire year. So it made it easy for us to do it. One of our sales person who has been here for 6 years, she herself has closed maybe more than $1.5 million of sales in alone herself, right? That's also a big achievement that we are able to do a lot more with very few people. So our revenue per employee has also been very high because we have been very, very lean all throughout. We are 11, 12 people right now.
Okay.
Now we are using more and more AI around everything, whatever we
Hmm.
do, so that we are trying to be further lean and still try to do more quantity of work and with higher quality than even companies which who have more team members on board. So the objective is, or the comparison is ki with 3x, 4x more team size, you can still deliver half quantity and half quality than what Cutshort can do today.
Among this 11, 12 people, how many co-founders are there? Like, what's the co-founder dynamic at Cutshort?
No, there is not much dynamic. I think it's pretty pleasant and collaborative working relationship that I share with Anubhav, who is my co-founder. He's quite younger than me, though. We met actually on a Facebook group before Facebook was not full of camsters and spamsters. I think it was back in 2014, 15.
Hmm.
I was just going through some design community on Facebook, and I found his comment that he is looking for. He shared his portfolios actually. He was a designer, and I looked at his design. I liked the way he designed some icons and stuff on his website. And then turned out that in addition to design, he could also code. He could also do front end specifically. And I was a backend engineer, so I could not do front end design. So front end design was exactly what I could not do. And I could do cloud, I could do backend, I could do product marketing, product strategy, but I could not do these two things. Unfortunately, our stars aligned. He was young in his career. He was actually in the college final year, and he just was very clear that he did not want to work in a job and he
Hmm.
wanted to work on his own startup. So yeah, so I think we started working together, and it's been 9 years. So uh, not a lot of conflicts and all of that. I think it's been a good journey. We have complemented each other well, and
That's
yeah.
amazing.
So
So tell us what's
yeah,
next for Cutshort? Like, what's on the horizon and what's your next 6 to 12 months plan look like?
yeah. So I think right now we are, as I said, right, we are focusing on uh, multiple things, right? So one thing is we are changing our offering from uh, from the pre-AI to the post-AI and the future of AI world, where we're not happy with just automating few things for our users. We want to automate as much as possible for them so that they don't really have to worry about it. So that is a massive automation thing that we are doing for our users, and that is changing the product or offering that we have. We also are changing the business model and pricing model. So more from the fixed subscription side, we are moving to consumption based pricing. We are moving to outcome based pricing. So you only pay when you consume something. You only pay when you get value. You don't pay just for the entire year on the hope that you
Yeah.
will find something or you will be able to use it. So that's one business model change that we're doing. And third, we are doing is we also changing our customer segment. Well, we are very, very strong and we have been operating in the startup segment. And now we are, trying to also experiment with some bigger companies which have higher hiring volumes. So that also is changing. So basically, we are changing three things,
Hmm.
right? The offering is changing, the business model is changing, and the customer segment also is changing. So like the last 1 year has been quite like early stage startup side sort of a thing, where we have experimented with the offering and all these three things. And now next 3 months, 6 months also are going to be more in the advanced stage where we're trying to scale up a few things that have worked so far. And after 6 to 9 months, I think it will be a more scale up or higher scale up that we will be doing. Hiring market remains one of the things we have to watch out for, that how will that behave, because last 1.5 2 years it has been quite soft. So we have to see, how that market will pick up. But
Hmm.
regardless of that pickup, I think we are going to change these three things and then try to, grow faster in next three
You
months or
know,
6 months.
I'm already looking forward to our next chat when all those changes are done and we get to discuss all of
Yeah,
those here. So great. So Nikunj, we are totally going to promote this video to large enterprises, investors, tech giants, and a broader startup ecosystem. Is there anything specific that you would like to mention that could help you find any external assistance? Please let us know and think of this as your call for support.
No, I think we are doing a lot of, I think hiring and tech hiring has been a problem for most companies, and it's not going to become easier because I think talent pool supply is not increasing much. The complexity of the role is increasing because AI is coming in. You don't need an intern, you need more skilled people who can build things faster. So across the role, I think hiring is becoming more difficult because the complexity of the roles are increasing, salary level are going to increase, the talent crunch remains. So I think the only solution is that we blend AI to with humans so that combined together, companies can find talent faster, uh, and talent also gets better jobs and get better careers without having to wait for their luck, right? So that is a problem that everybody is a stakeholder of. Every company needs talent, and every all your friends and your family and your cousins and whatnot and their kids, they need jobs, right? So it's a very interesting area and market which really
Hmm.
touches the progress of our career of our society, unlike other ideas or other startups which might be operating in, let's say, entertainment, gaming, social network. All these things, I call them, they appeal to your side, and this is
Absolutely.
your value side, right?
Yeah.
This is where as a society we need more jobs. As a society we need more companies to come up and grow, and
Hmm.
that's how the economy is going to unfold, right? So it's a mission that which requires support and requires investment from everybody. So all which you can do is try out Cutshort, see how humans and AI can create a better future together, and you're welcome to try it out and give us feedback. So yeah, that is what I have to say.
Thank you so much, Nikunj. And before we end this, let's do a quick rapid fire round. Are you ready? Just five quick questions.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, question number one is a book that you would like to recommend to the youth that has greatly influenced your career. Any book.
So personally, to me, it has been Atlas Shrugged,
Okay.
but that has kind of made me start my startup and gave me the confidence to stand out from the crowd.
Okay, question number two, a productivity tool or app that you find most helpful in your daily work.
So I use Coda for my documents, but Super Whisper is one tool that I've started using recently, where you
Hmm.
can record voice notes and it can, organize your random thoughts into more structured writings that you could use. I also
Hmm.
use Taplio as a social media planning and management tool, so that also has been helping me a bit.
Okay. Question number three, a fun fact about you that most people don't know. Very quick.
A fun fact is I get lost in the activities that I'm doing right now. So a lot of people complain that I don't pick up phones, I don't reply to the WhatsApp. WhatsApp to me is like a telegram, and it's like a snail mail, in fact, that I don't reply to them. So you might do send me a WhatsApp today, I'll reply tomorrow because I just believe in working in the moment right now. So if I'm
Hmm.
with my kids, I'm there with my
Yeah.
kids. I don't want to think about much. And if I'm at work, I'm just at my work. I don't want to pick a phone. So that's how it is, and that kind of becomes a very frustrating experience
Hmm.
for my relatives and my friends.
Okay. Okay. Last but not the least, Nikunj, one quick wish for a cut shot. Make a wish out loud. Very quick.
Yeah, I think we achieve our objectives and create a bigger impact where everyone wins.
Great. Well, here's to empowering both recruiters and job seekers to find their perfect fit seamlessly. And thank you so much for sharing your journey with us and shedding light on all the incredible things that you are working on. All the very best. And I look forward to chatting with you very soon. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ankita. Thanks for having me here. Look forward again.
So, if you'd like to stay updated with the latest developments and business insights from Cutshort, be sure to follow their channel on follow.us/startups. Thank you so much for watching and stay tuned for the next exciting conversation.